Here we are for part 3 of the Calm Confident Parenting Workshop, and I'm going to be giving you the best question to end your daily battles. And I want to tell you that when I use this question and paired it with the tools that you got yesterday, I started to have different results with Caleb. In fact, I used them the very next day when I came back to the swim class with him. I made an agreement in advance. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to kiss you on the hand, and you can hold it with you the whole class. And then, if you choose to be sad, you can be sad for a while. You can hold on to the edge of the pool. And when you're ready, then the teacher's going to have you get involved in the class. That's our agreement. And I was able to walk away. I heard him cry for about 30 seconds, and then he had a wonderful time. So this is truly something that can start having you enjoy more ease in your parenting. The first day you learn those 3 key errors that you are not going to keep going down anymore. You are not going to be on the road anymore of parenting from the neck up and just explaining and reasoning and talking when it's not getting through. You are not going to stay stuck ping-ponging between this idea, that idea, over here. Oh my gosh, I don't know. You are not going to keep asking the wrong question, which is, why are you doing this? And why can't you be different? Friend, the right question, the best question to end your daily battles is, are you ready to scrape your driveway now? Are you ready to scrape your driveway now? Let me explain. I live here in Montana where we have snow come down, and it's a lot of work. You're like legally required to shovel the driveway and the sidewalk, especially so that people can walk on the sidewalks. You have to do it every time it snows. And sometimes I get out there and put all my gear on and I shovel, and it's a lot of work. It's like you get sweaty. It's hard, especially if a lot came down. But you do it and you're like, okay. Sometimes then it'll snow again. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this today. And so I'll not deal with it. And guess what? Often then the temperature will drop. It turns into like a sheet of ice. And then I'm battling against that the whole rest of winter. Like, instead of it just being hard because I'm scraping, it's double hard because I'm scraping and fighting against this like bumpy layer of ice on the bottom. And I wish I had just scraped my driveway when it was the easiest. And I gotta tell you, that's right where you're sitting right now. That if your kids are under the age of 13, you're at the easiest phase you will ever be at to make an impact in their future. You're at the easiest phase you'll ever be at to change patterns in your relationship and to be able to help them know how to manage their emotions better, to be able to help build their skills of how to solve problems and be more self-aware and thinking on their own. You're at the best phase for them to really understand boundaries and know how to thrive within those right now. I have friends who did not scrape their driveway, and the costs have just been so upsetting to watch. We have a friend who had an 18-year-old go off to college, had done great in school, but just melted when she got there and faced struggles because they had not built up her struggle muscles, her ability to deal with upsets in herself and things not going her way. And she just melted. She crumbled. She came home after the first semester with a diagnosed anxiety problem. So severe, she was having physical twitches and unable to continue in school, couldn't even come home and maintain a job. And I've seen other people, when they don't scrape their driveway in terms of these family patterns, end up in divorce, end up in moms that are just moms or dads reaching out with addiction or cheating as some way to get back a sense of who they've lost inside in this parenting struggle. I've seen severe ways that people's driveways have gotten very thick. And if you look around and you notice that there is some of that in your life right now, you are at the best place to start asking yourself, am I ready to scrape my driveway now? Because it does take effort. It takes effort to move the dial, but you have everything within your power to do it. It's all in your hands. Your family will never change until you choose new patterns. You choose new ways to approach the problems with them. You choose to make those agreements in advance. You looking at a 2, 6, or 8-year-old and saying, like, when are you going to change? Friend, between a 2, 6, 8-year-old and you as a 28 or 35-year-old, who is more likely to be able to change this system? The only thing it requires of you, friend, is that you claim it for yourself. No one else can do that for you. No one else can take the step to say, yes, I deserve this. I deserve every bit of happiness. I deserve every tool that I've been missing in order to be able to get my child more cooperative. I deserve it. And you do, friend. You totally do. So let's get started. It's so simple. I offer a mentorship program where you have a self-paced course. You have mentorship with me personally, a licensed counselor right there as a sounding board, answering your questions, helping you solve the problems that are coming up. And you do so in a community of other parents who give you more accountability and encouragement and validation that you are not alone. You are not alone, friend, and I cannot wait to have you jump in to this next level, to truly, within weeks, start feeling, I finally enjoy parenting again. I feel like me again. My husband and I are having dates again. The results are amazing and they're right there waiting for you. I can't wait to see what will be possible for you, what you will do when you get your time back, when you're parenting smarter, not harder. What you will do when you have everything you need to be the calm, confident mom or dad you always wanted to be.
Approach, it is night and day difference. And so,
but we don't have an easy one. And this stuff really, really works.
And there were a lot of things I didn't think would work. And I'd be like, no way, but I'll try it. And then it did work. And I was like, oh.
I would say, yes, it's been a night and day difference as Jeff and Shannon have adopted the different techniques they've heard from Flora. Just the changes we've seen in Ryder and their parenting has been terrific.
You know, I don't have the arguments. I don't have the fights. I mean, both myself and my daughter are bullheaded, and stubborn. So when we battle, it's pretty good. But we've been able to avoid most of those.
I mean, before Zach and Mary would go at it and I would just like freeze and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is not good, but I can't step in because he started it. Now it's pretty calm and mellow. We're on the same page. We can kind of see where each other are going. We know what each other are doing, you know.
So if she's getting overwhelmed, I can jump in and help out and pick up where she left off and vice versa. I would say do it. To anybody who's thinking about it, just do it. I mean, it's worth every penny to not have to fight with your kid, to be able to just talk to him and just get him to do what you want. It's worth it. It really is.
It's just helped out so much, and just staying calm and being perceptive to their emotions and how they're feeling. And they just respond so much better to me. And that's helped out a lot.
What helped you to say with your husband, like, I want to do this group, I want to invest in a way that will make sure that we really make these changes for ourselves?
what I would do was utilize my kindness and be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. And then I'm getting stretched too thin. And then I would explode into monster mom so bad. And it was so confusing for my toddler because he was like, Mom, you were being so nice. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're monster mom.
Yeah.
And I could not keep parenting like that. It was not effective. It was straining our relationship. It was straining my husband and I's relationship. As a family as a whole. You know, we have a newborn daughter. She was just born in August. And I realized too, that's not how I wanted my relationship to be with her when she was the age of my toddler. So I did your 5-day webinar. And your free one. And once I had completed that, I went to my husband and I said, it's time for us to make some changes. How do you feel about this? And it took him a couple days to come around. But once he started seeing me implementing what I learned from your webinar, he was like, okay, I can see how this is gonna work for us. And so he jumped on board, and ever since then he was just like, I can't believe that, you know, he's like, this has just been worth every penny that we've paid. And for my husband to say that is huge.
Lucy is our 1.5-year-old, and then we have she has 3 older brothers. They are 7, 6, and 4. My husband's military, and he's a pilot, so he works a lot of long hours away.
And it always seemed like the only focus of our family was trying to manage children's behavior. Rachel and I never got time together. We didn't go on dates very often. We didn't get to do a whole lot of things together because we were always just moving from one child's emotional upset to the next child's emotional upset, or sometimes all 4 of them.
But with each thing we learned, I found my confidence growing that, hey, kind of whatever happened, we could figure this out.
The thing I like about the techniques and the strategies, for one, is that they are techniques and strategies. It's not trying to fit everybody's children into a rigid box that if you parent exactly this way, then your children will behave this way, and then we'll all be perfect parents with perfect children that look exactly the same. But it teaches you tools and techniques and encourages you to apply them in your own ways in the situations that are specific to you and your family.
He addresses mindset a lot. I realized I was doing way too much for our kids, and I was stretching myself too thin while also not teaching them skills that would benefit them as well, not setting those healthy boundaries, because I was scared to, honestly. I felt like if I did, then it was just going to be a tantrum forever. And I found that has not been the case at all. And I found that the tools she gives, like making a plan for things and following through, has been extremely helpful for really resolving almost any problem we've had.
Basically, in conclusion, I'd like to say that while things are definitely not, cookie cutter perfection, they are a lot better. And we're more on the same page. The kids are more aware of what to expect, and they're also becoming a lot better at recognizing the causes of their upsets and working through those upsets on their own.
I've appreciated doing a class that helps us be more on the same page, because that was one of the biggest reasons we did it. I was tired of fighting about parenting and not having kind of a united way to deal with things, and so that's been a whole lot better.